Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Fae. Today, I'm alone. Today, I'll be discussing Horizon Zero Dawn, a game. So, this is the first time I ever discussed a game outside of. No, wait, there's been quite a few. There's been Friday Night Funkin', Among Us, Angry Birds. I guess those are more like franchise type games, discussing more like the franchise rather than the actual game itself, as a Friday Night Funkin'. But we discussed games before. We have, and definitely this is the first time we're gonna do multiple episodes on a game. But yeah, guys, like in recent times, we discussed Marvel Spider-Man. We also did Jurassic World Evolution. I fucking remember those. Um, okay, so Horizon Zero Dawn is a PlayStation original game released for PS4 in 2017, and I don't remember when the PC port came out. I'm pretty sure it was like 2019, 2020. Yeah, it was one of the first games to be ported to PC. Uh, so yeah, I played this. I got this 4 years ago. I want to do an episode on it soon. I was doing an episode on it. I didn't mention it. I think a while back, and some episodes back, that I wanted to do an episode. Like I was gonna do an episode on Horizon Zero Dawn, and I actually haven't. I didn't finish it yet. This episode is late. I understand that, and this is the last episode I have to record until we are officially on time and we can get back to doing the normal scheduled things. But yeah, that's really it. And so yeah, I played this in the pandemic, 2020. I got this in like July, June, around there, like summertime, and I played it and I really enjoyed it. But it's been 4 years since I finished the game, and in the time I actually got to be playing it, I didn't finish it. So yeah, I at least got to the part where I can do Frozen Wilds. So yeah, and I still want to do this episode because I did finish the game. It's just that like all that time is just not. I'll talk about the plot and I'll talk about like, it's like so forgettable. But aside from that, I will be getting into I unlocked Frozen Wilds. I can go there immediately. So like eventually in the future, right, I'll probably make an episode on Frozen Wilds. And I also do have Forbidden West. So I might do an episode. So I will probably do an episode on that when I finish it. I have not finished it, so it's not like I have to finish it. So it's like I have to finish it. I'll finish it eventually, but not right now. Um. So yeah, and I don't have Burning Shores. I do not have that expansion, and I don't really. I don't know if I plan to get it, but the only reason I have Personal Wilds is because I got the complete edition, which was on sale. It was $20, so it wasn't that much. It was a pretty good deal. Yeah, aside from that, there's not much I can really say about it beforehand. Just it's a game I played and I really liked. And I want to do an episode on it. This was originally announced in 2023, and I just kind of want to do an episode on it. And here we are. We are discussing a lot more games, and you'll be seeing a lot more game centric episodes be coming out. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. And especially in the Pokemon side, which we've covered a lot of Pokemon games, and that's never really come out. So yeah. Also, last time with Miles Morales, I said that I didn't really know how to do that like those notes weren't the best because I was kind of handling like a movie or like a TV show, and that's not what games are about. I'm still figuring it out, but I think, but I think that I think I got it. I think I got the formula now with with the Horizon with this. So yeah, we're getting into it. Also, this is kind of on time since we're getting a remaster for the game uh, this week, actually, on October 31st. So that's gonna be fun. It's releasing alongside it's releasing alongside Dragon Quest, not Dragon Quest, Dragon Age. So yeah, I don't know if it'll do that well, but yeah, no. And also I gotta mention that this game is like very good. I think this game is very good. Like just pointing out there, I'll say it. Like this game is very good, but the sad thing is that it was kind of overlooked. It did have a lot of copies. It did sell a bunch of copies that a lot of people were saying like, yeah, that was because like this game was bundled with a bunch of PlayStations, and that makes sense. Like people who got a lot of PlayStations probably got this game in addition to that. So a lot of people probably did play Horizon Zero Dawn because it was a game. And like it's a pretty it's a great game. It was a game that people got like for free or on sale or something. Like it didn't make as much money as it probably could have because it released a week uh, before Breath of the Wild, and people probably wanted to play that. This game came out in 2017. It is one of not the oldest thing we've ever covered on the podcast, but definitely one of the oldest things we've ever covered here. That'll be soon dethroned. I will I will say that throne of it being one of the oldest things, like the oldest thing we've ever covered was Killer Bean. I think technically Killer Bean, or it's between Killer Bean, Forever, and Iron Man, which were both covered in 2000 and well, no, technically, I mean, no. I was probably something stupid like, oh yeah, the movie. No, yeah, no. The oldest thing we ever covered was the Clone Wars movie, which came out in 2007. So yeah, that'll also be dethroned soon. I will be talking about Jurassic Park, which is going to be our oldest thing, and we will eventually do an episode on Beetlejuice, which will be then become our like the oldest thing we've ever covered because that's from the 80s. Yeah, no. To actually get into Horizon Zero Dawn, um, so Horizon Zero Dawn is getting a remaster, so let's just get right into it. And speaking of the remaster, my first point here is the graphics. I gotta say the graphics of this game are beautiful. They are really really good. Something that like it just looks very realistic. Like something I gotta mention is that like I don't understand why it's getting a remaster. A graphical upscale could have been nice, but I don't think a remaster would have really done anything because this game just looks very good already. I guess maybe like a remaster, like adding some stuff from Forbidden West. Yeah, like maybe quality of life improvements from Forbidden West that didn't really make it into the game. I feel like that could be that could be something that they were going for here with making a remaster, but I don't know. I just don't think so. Yeah, the graphics here are very, very good. The game, for a PlayStation 4 game, again, it's a late PlayStation 4 game, sure. Like I guess late is a very big term. It's more like a midterm, like a middle age PlayStation 4 game. It looks very good. Like this game looks very well made, especially for like 2017. Like at this point, I think graphics might have peaked, or it might just be the PlayStation 5 because I did first play this in PS4, and I remember that looking very good, anyways. But like on PS5, it has that graphic upscale. Like the processing power of the PS5 helps it out a lot. So it might bring out like the intricacies of the graphics a lot more. And it's still like, and again, like it might have been that, but I think this game looks really, really well, and it probably could have released in the state that it is right now, in the year that it is right now, in 2024. 7 years after this game is 7 years old, and it still looks very, very good. I think a lot of those games really do age well. I mean, this is an example. This game has aged well. Like it's just that's just the best way to put it. Like this game looks like it could release this year, and it is going to release this year because they're going to remaster. Yeah, like this game is going to release. If this game were to release this year, I don't think people would really complain about it because it looks so realistic. And that's not really like a, and I know some people like to have stylized games, and I'm one of those people. I like the fact that like some games have stylization, but I feel like with this game it has to be, I think, more complimented because they had to pretty much make different cultures to have like they had to pretty much reinvent the entire thing, so they don't have like a basis. So like there's nothing real world about like the actual environment, the actual like characters and all. Like it's very sci-fi. So having it be this realistic, sure, it's on Earth, but it's like being this realistic. I feel like it's really impressive, and the fact that like we have the machines, and the machines look also really realistic, even if they kind of share the same like core components on them being like white, white gray, and some blue or some other like neon light. So yeah. Also, I know that like I don't know why I think I mentioned it before, but I believe that I once said that I was gonna do an episode on. I once said like with other review thing. I know it. I mentioned it in the Monster Hunter one that like that we are gonna do like any story DLC would be done separately from would be done separately from the other like from the other from like the actual base game. So yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm only reviewing the base game of Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm not reviewing from First and Wilds. I am reviewing base game Horizon Zero Dawn. That's that's really all I'm going to review here. Just like yeah, I played for First and Wilds, like I have, but that's like again, that's not like what I that's not what I'm reviewing right now. Yeah, it's gonna be a review 7 years late, but I just wanted to do this episode. Yeah, anyways, yeah, the game looks really good and it has aged really well, and it's really impressive that they managed to make these. I was getting at for the machines. The machines have multiple segments about them that break off, and it's really hard to make like and it looks really good even they under it, and obviously they had to model that because the game wouldn't be looking that good if if it wasn't like that, but they have to model that, and it's still the things all fit together. Like not I know there are several models and all that, but the what do you call it? Uh, like the machines fit in with the world, doesn't look out of place. Like it's all really well made, and it just there's no like lag with the graphics. It just runs really well, and it runs so smoothly, and it just looks really good. That's all I really gotta say. It just looks very good, and it is genuinely impressive that they managed to like make this like really like make this so realistic with how sci-fi this world is, and how different this world this like setting is. And yeah, and also like they managed to have a bunch of like other stuff like and everything just looks really like really good. Like I don't know, like, just everything looks really good. Like again, that might have been just me being having playing it on PS5 and not really seeing how it plays on PS4. But that's not like I don't know, like maybe not. It's a toss up, but yeah. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say about the graphics. I think I talked about the graphics for enough time. Another thing I want to talk about is like the second thing I want to talk about is the gameplay. So the gameplay of the game is spectacular. I fell in love with the gameplay so much. It has okay. I'm not the best player at the gameplay, but I feel like it has its intricacies. It has its it has things that like make it interesting. You have different weapons aside from the ones you always get. Like there's like an ice thrower, and there's like I think there might have been Frozen Wilds, but like I'm like there's like different weapons like flamethrowers like the sling caster which like lets which trips up machines, the different types of bows, the different types of arrows. It all works, and it is so smooth. The gameplay is genuinely smooth. I feel like it has some of the best bow and arrow gameplay of any game that has ever come out. Like it feels good, and the melee combat isn't all that great. To be honest, it's not great. The melee combat isn't exactly the best melee combat you've ever seen in your goddamn life, but it's definitely it does its job, I guess. But aside from that, like there's not much to really write home about the melee combat. It's not what you're there for. and the arrows and like the bow and the other stuff that are like are here like that is here for like ranged weapons is more than enough, and that's what really the game is all about. And also like with the and also using the different types of arrows to or these like different types of weapons to really like to exploit the weaknesses of every machine. Every machine has different weaknesses, and you can use different machines for different stuff. Like this I think it's called the bellow back or something like that, where it has like different elements inside of like vats of liquid. It has like it's different elements. It can explode, and it can take out a whole area of like machines and all that. That's cool. I almost said monsters, but that's beside the point. You can take out like a whole area of machines. That's so cool. I really appreciate that. But yeah. Oops. Okay. So some other stuff because I can mention is that I like the fact you can hack machines. That's something that's very important in the game. It's not something I do often. That's probably why I die. But that's probably a reason as to why I die so much is because I don't really use the machines all that much. In my New Game Plus playthrough, I have ignored every cauldron. I have generally ignored every cauldron, so I don't have all the machines, all the capabilities to use all the machines. At least I don't think so. So I don't think that carries over in New Game Plus. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I have no fucking idea. But I have no idea if it does carry over to New Game Plus. It's just kind of a their thing. But yeah, even in my like other playthrough, I didn't really use the machine stuff all that much. I actually never really 100% completed the game, anyways. But I can appreciate the gameplay, and really, it's just really good gameplay that it leaves you wanting to really go out and face everything. If the game wasn't so unforgiving. Something I gotta mention is that even like the first time I played the game was in story difficulty, which I pussy stuff, but yeah, it's mainly because I found the actual game to be very unforgiving. That might have been just me, but me going through New Game Plus on normal difficulty, I've died quite a bit of times. That might just be me being sucking at the game, or just kind of being used to having to having it be always on like a easy or like very easy difficulty, just having me play through the story. I probably should have done that for this playthrough, is having it just take me to the story. I don't really care about anything else. Just take me through the story. That's something I did, but yeah, I found the game to be very unforgiving in difficulty. That's not really an issue I have. People like it's fine. I don't mind having difficult games, and this is probably not the best. Again, probably that sounds like such a baby. Like, oh, it's so difficult. Like, I'm not complaining. Like, I just found it to be ve- surprisingly unforgiving, but it's not something it's not a complaint because I've gotten through it. I've not finished the game like on my second playthrough, but I've definitely finished the game already, and yeah, it's fine. Like, it's a fine difficulty. I feel it's just that I'm not used to it for this game. So yeah, I found myself healing quite a bit of times in my New Game Plus playthrough, and also dying. But like dying because I got overwhelmed. There was this part where we were trying to save Ursa, and I'm like, I got overwhelmed because I was stupid. But yeah, aside from that, not much. Like, there's not much like actual difficulty in the game, and it's probably not that difficult of a game. Uh, I'm probably being just kind of a big baby about it. There's not much difficulty in the actual game because it's fucking it's a fucking PlayStation game. It's not a Dark Souls game. Like, it's not a Soulsborne. Not like I've ever finished a Soulsborne, but it's not a Soulsborne. It's easy. It's like passable. Of course, I never played in hard difficulty. I don't hate myself. Yeah, like, I've managed to beat machines in like normal difficulty. Like, that would normally be kind of not like very difficult, and that also might be because I'm playing a New Game Plus on an Aloy that is that is level 55, 56, around there, and I have a bunch of skills. And also the skill system, I don't find myself using it all that much. I feel like it's kind of, and that might be just me kind of being stupid and not really using all that stuff that this skill system actually, like makes you get. It's like it makes you want to obtain. But I've just never really found myself doing a lot of like using a lot of what the skill system actually utilizes, like actually gives you. That again, that might be just me being stupid, and that might be just kind of having a skill issue, not really playing the game because I want to go million plus and all that. But yeah, like I didn't really find myself like really finding a use in using all of those skills. That again, like I don't know. I'll definitely see Forbidden West because I haven't finished that one. I'm gonna have to restart it because I just don't remember anything about that game. I bought it like a year ago and I played it very little. Yeah, when I eventually play the game and review it because hey, I'm reviewing this now. But when I play the game and review it, I'll definitely see if that game is easier just because if I run it completely throughout normal difficulty. I think it's been easier. It's not been that hard, but it's definitely been different. Like, it's a different experience than Zero Dawn. Let me tell you that on like normal difficulty. But it's not like it's not challenging. It's just kind of like not as hard. I feel. Like I don't know if that's a major complaint about the difficulty. It's not really a major complaint about me. Like it's a major complaint that I have, but it's just kind of like there, right? I guess. So yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about the gameplay. There's not much for me to say. Again, like sure, I've been experiencing it. I've been playing through it. I do really enjoy it. I think I enjoy fighting as the machines more than the act like humans. The human enemies are kind of pathetic because you can just kill them with one headshot. It's not difficult to take down a human. I think the human enemies are like the weakest enemies in the game. Like not like both in gameplay and like both in like conceptualization. They're just kind of like not fun to fight because they die in like a hit or two. Like they at least give you like the big guns. Yeah, like they're not that interesting to fight. You fight them quite a bit, a little bit less than the machines, I think. No, you fight them a lot because like final battles is like a whole onslaught of those guys. But like you fight them quite a bit, and it's kind of not interesting. There's a whole like section about like them having bases and all that. It's like a sneaky thing, and they just don't really pose that much of a challenge. So yeah, I think it's just not enjoyable to fight. It's not like it's not enjoyable. It's just like not as enjoyable as fighting a Thunderjaw or something. That one's an intense fight. And once you get okay. Also, I gotta mention like a lot of people in like the space of like gaming, like Hearts and Zero Dawn and especially Forbidden West have gotten kind of a bad rap for them being kind of like industry playing games. And I get that sometimes, like them being promoted so heavily with like people having PlayStations and all that. But I feel like people are misrepresenting the game a little with like what do you call it? I think they misrepresent the game by like not showing actual gameplay. There's this like big fight scene. There's this like there was this Twitter post I saw a few months ago where it was a guy fighting like a big mammoth monster in Forbidden West, and he never ever shot an arrow or even attacked the thing, just kind of dodged. And cool, dodging is cool and all. Uh, Dodging is cool and all, but when you don't have anything to actually when you don't have anything to actually kind of show for it, like an actual skill to show for it, then maybe not. Like if you want to see actual good Horizon gameplay, look up like a Thunderjaw fight. I'm probably not gonna post mine because mine is kind of I'm not the best Horizon player. I'm playing it normal, but like look up like any actual good Horizon player, and you'll see that there's like actual skill there and actual cool combat. Like the Horizon games are actually fun to play, and their gameplay is actually fun, and their gameplay loop is also fun. Like you can like it is fun. It's intense. It's engaging. It's like fighting Monster Hunter, but like a bit easier. It's easier, but you still have to learn like the patterns of the machines and all that. That's all. That's all. It's all really cool, but I feel like it's all kind of misrepresented by like people who don't really like who one probably are kind of stuck at the game, and two, people just kind of like don't want to like people like yeah, these people misrepresenting the game, like trying to say, oh, what's so lame about this, and they show like the lamest possible clip that they could have shown where they don't even attack. Like, please actually show yourself fighting. You're just showing off the fact you can dodge. Like, yeah, it takes skill to learn how to dodge things, but you're not showing off yourself actually attacking. You're showing off what the machine can do, and what the machine can do isn't isn't what you're doing. I don't know. It's just there. I don't like it. I don't like when people kind of do that with their uh, their gameplay. It's kind of misrepresent the game and how fun the game can actually be. So yeah, um, I think that's all I'll say about the gameplay. I think now I've actually said everything I need to say. Yeah, let's move on to some side content. I have not really engaged in much of the side content uh on my New Game Plus playthrough, but I did on my original playthrough, so I can kind of talk about that. I mentioned the cauldrons quite a bit ago, and I do think the cauldrons are kind of cool. You're like sure it's kind of the same thing, but usually there's like different there's like a difference in every cauldron. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it has like no actual like enemies. Sometimes it has an enemy base in it. Sometimes it's like at the end you find like a horde of monsters, a horde of machines, and sometimes that's like humans. Sometimes you fight like super souped up machines. It's all very interesting, and you also get a reward at the end. You can control more machines, and that can sort of loop it in back with the gameplay. It could have machines help you out in combat and all that. And that's all very cool. But yeah, just the cauldrons are interesting, and they definitely explore quite a bit of like the lore and all that, and it does have to do something with the lore because you have the they're like named after Greek stuff, and that's also what the AIs are named after. So yeah, some more stuff I guess like I mentioned is that the corrupted zones and the bandit camps. I think a bandit again, like I was mentioning earlier, the actual human enemies are kind of weak to go on. Sometimes the best bandit camps are the ones that make you fight against machines. I don't know how many there are about that. Again, it's been quite a bit since I've done any actual uh, bandit camp stuff. But yeah, again, this is kind of uninteresting. At least gives you a fast travel point. It gives you like a merchant to really go there. Aside from that, there's not much to talk about in that aspect. Um, and the corrupted zones, like they're cool. I guess like they're cool. You fight souped up machines and all that, and it's all very interesting. And at least they provide kind of a challenge, a little more of a challenge than than you fighting some fucking bandits, because like in the bandit stuff, like yeah, they're just bandits, like they don't really level up or anything. But with the machines, like you might find a machine you've never seen before, and you get to fight its souped up version that you're just not prepared for it. Like that's very possible. Like they're gonna fuck you up, and that's just how the game works. It's just how it all works, and it's great. I think that sort of stuff is great. And I don't really think of anything. I don't think there's anything else. Like, there's some side quests definitely that add lots of the lore of the world, and that's something I guess I will explore in the setting. like when I talk about like the plot, but and all that. But like it adds to the world and it adds to we can find there doing side content. I see the best gear in the game, and yeah, like there's that. Which I actually have not gotten. I have not done that yet. They you learn a bunch of the world and what happened. It's mostly in the story, but you learn a little bit more about the world that you live like they live in and all that, how it all works. I remember like I see on getting his mission of like, finding a trader or something, and yeah, no, I feel like the side content of the game is actually very like very very enjoyable. Sometimes it's not something that isn't, but you can learn a lot about the world. You get a bunch of cool stuff for it. Like it's all there, and it definitely doesn't. It makes the world, the side content of the game makes the world feel alive. It's kind of something that doesn't really happen in like with like other open world. It's something that a lot of open world games kind of fall into, like a trap. A lot of open world games fall into, where sometimes their world might feel like there's too much to do, or it might feel like there's too little to do, or it just feels like there's little substance. That's definitely a trap a lot of open world games can fall into, and that's something that I think that Horizon Zero Dawn definitely didn't fall into. It definitely, I feel like it definitely struck a balance, mainly because its world is so different from ours, and again, it's really explored that in different ways. So, I feel like its side content really elevated the game and like how the people interact with machines and in this new world in general. Now, like different tensions there are, and how people live and all that. That's all very interesting. So actually, actually, like getting out to see all that and having a world that feels alive, that sure feels wild and tamed, but it feels alive, and it feels like people lived here. And honestly, this is really impressive. That's really impressive what they did here, and I feel like that's just really cool. I think that's really cool. Okay, let's talk about the plot. And this, and like unlike other things, we're moving straight into this. I decided to encapsulate setting, character, story, all into one thing, all into just talking about the plot, because I feel like a lot of the for games specifically, there's a lot of stuff to do, especially in open world games like this, like this game. So I feel like for games like this, I feel like talking about different characters it would just get kind of messy because there's a lot of characters that do a lot of stuff in the story. So talking about them all would kind of be would kind of it would make these episodes feel like Ruby episodes, like my Ruby reviews, where it's just me talking about a wall of characters, which wasn't really enjoyable for me. It probably was really for you talking about like me just going on about characters and why they suck. But like me going on and like for doing it for a game would be different because there's a lot of different stuff and different storylines that happen. Again, like I was mentioning with the side content. So, I don't think it would be really that. I don't think it would be a wise decision to talk about characters separately. So I just had to just lump it all in here and just let it ride and see how it works. So yeah, I'm still experimenting with talking about games, but let's just roll straight into it with the setting. I'll talk about the setting first because this setting is interesting. So so this takes place in the 31st, not 23rd, the 31st century. Humanity has died. So again, spoilers for a 7-year old game. I don't know if you're listening to Mini Fate, you should know by now that you're going to get spoiled. Everything we don't put spoiler warnings for stuff, mainly because we don't care. We don't care enough. But if you don't want to get spoiled for anything, don't listen to us. Go. You don't see any no spoilers warnings. Yeah, like we talk about spoilers. We don't. It's no. We don't hold back here. It's our full opinions. Anyways, so setting. Um, it takes us 31st century. After humanity has actually gone extinct. So humanity actually died. Like this isn't the remnants of humanity. This is like a revival of humanity that died off. I just you guys. I think I mentioned this earlier, but I didn't finish the game. I didn't finish the story. I didn't get that far into it, but I did. I finished the game earlier and actually watched a recap of the thing. I do remember the ending. I do remember what happens. And so the setting is that. So the setting is that it's the 31st century. Humanity has actually gone extinct, and these people that we see here are like a revival of humanity that's to live in a world where machines, like the machines that destroy humanity, they went rogue because like think it was something with the fact that like the machines like they like a rogue code in the machines where they had to kill, but they had needed organic matter and they killed humanity for it. That's I think what I remember. I don't know. So I remember from the recap. And so now they have to live. They have to live with these machines, and yeah, and they live in like tribes and all that. And that's because and that's in because when humanity was going extinct, there was supposed to be a program that lets the new humans have all these have take essentially like all the knowledge of humanity and learn it again. But what actually happened was that that program was destroyed and sabotaged by like, a man named Ted Farrow, and that guy like yeah just sabotaged the program. It's called the program was called Apollo and was supposed to give the knowledge, and all the knowledge was gone. So people were taken. So people were essentially taken back to what could essentially be considered the Stone Age. Not really, because it had all that like metal and all that. Yeah, like they were taken back to essentially primal times, and now they don't have all that. So that's why the world's how it is, and why nobody really remembers anything, and why there's no like stories or anything. It's just there, and the humans and the old humans are known as the old ones. So yeah, uh, so the setting I feel like it's very very interesting. It's a story that like that just works. It just interests you, and you don't learn anything. You just kind of go into this thing. Okay, so there's machines, but there's like tribal humans, and that's already kind of an interesting thing to do because you explore like why does that happen? Like why is this like this? And something I didn't really notice when playing the game for the first time is just how like that you don't really know how that happened. You just like in the first few, okay, so like the first the first time of the game is like okay, you just accept this is how the world is, and then you learn like what actually happened to the world, and it's so interesting. It's such it's so interesting. It's so like carefully crafted. There's like different like monuments for different thing there's monuments for like you're not like monuments, but different like leftovers from humanity and all that. And that's all like again like it's so good. Like it's not like it's gone. It's just like there and like God, it's so well crafted and it's like it's such a great setting. I feel like how they explored in the story is so cool. You learning how it happens. You don't know you don't. It's not like oh it's letting passed down. Nobody knows what happens, and then you find out how it happens. And like the leftovers of humanity, like the people, like the new humans don't know what it all means, so they get revered as gods and all that. That's so cool. Such creative world building. Yeah, no, I really do enjoy the world of Horizon Zero Dawn and how it was crafted and all that. So yeah, no, it's just really well made, and I do enjoy the world a lot. And it's interesting. It's interesting. You're not in like the actual setting of like the actual world. You don't actually. It's not like in this like very big setting. Obviously, in Forbidden West, you go to the western coast. So you see all these big monuments, but like I think in Zero Dawn, I think it's like in the middle of of Colorado, like Nevada, and like Wyoming, like some other like really weird states. So you're not like it's not in some like big states, but like it's, yeah, this takes place in the United States. We don't know what happens to the other countries. Probably the same thing because there are things that they're like machines that swim. So I'm pretty sure the whole world went to shit. But aside from that, like there's not much to like. There's like really um. Oh God, there's like really like not much to there's not like big there's like not big things, so it's not like things distracting you from like, oh yeah, so this is that, like no, like this is like the world, like this is the world of presence you're on, and you're taking it like, and it's like just, and the thing is like this is just a small part of it, like you don't know, like you know what happened to the other you know what happened to the rest of humanity, like it's like there's like different tribes here and there, like, and you think that this is it, but no, it's like it's probably a lot of stuff. It leaves you wondering what happened to the rest, like to the rest of the world. Like you find out in Forbidden West, you find out more in Forbidden West, but then you're like, but then like what happens like East Coast? Or what happened to the East Coast? Like what happened to like all that stuff? Like you don't know. Like it's so interesting, and definitely like it is. You wonder like, well, like in the East Coast, there's probably a lot of boats. Like what do people do? Like what did people do with like those? Are they like boat ferrying try? Yeah, are boat ferrying civilization there? Let's talk that up. Like that could be very cool and something that they could really explore in a different game. I feel like Horizon is an interesting world, but I feel like with like Forbidden West and Forbidden West and Zero Dawn, I feel like Aloy's story, Aloy's story is something that's very interesting to see. But I feel like I feel like it'd also be very interesting to see like other perspectives in this world because it's such a vast world. Kind of like what they're doing with Ghost of Tsushima, which is like different time periods in the civilization in like Japan, like in the different times and different like eras of like samurai and all that. That could be very interesting to explore here with Horizon, having like different times, and like different people and how they lived here. So yeah, no, I feel like that could be very interesting. Having this like having our Aloy story be a big part of it, but also seeing um how different people see the world and envision the world. That could be very cool. Yeah, we don't really know that. Yeah, let's talk. So enough talking about the setting. Let's talk about the characters. I feel like the characters are kind of like a pretty like the best character is Alo, and it's only because she's the main protagonist. I feel like her actual. I feel like her actual what do you call it? Her actual like character arc here, her learning that she's like a clone of Elizabeth Sobek, and learning like all about the old ones, and seeing that she's just like a clone of like a last remnant of the old ones. That could be very good. That's very cool. I mean, probably a lot of people are remnants of old ones. They probably like I don't think I don't think they can create DNA out of thin air. So probably look like people from older times. But yeah, Aloy is just interesting. I feel like so sometimes like the weird thing about the gameplay, the weird thing about her is that you can take different stories, like you can take different beats, and it doesn't really matter. Like you can take different dialogue paths. It doesn't really matter. I don't know why they have different dialogue paths. It doesn't really matter in the gameplay. Yeah, no. There's like I mentioned, like Aloy's the only standout one I can really talk about because you play as her, and you don't like it's easier to narrow in on her. Um, No one can get talk about Silence. I haven't really met Silence in my second playthrough, but I do remember him. He is played by the late Lance Reddick, so rest in peace to that. Rest in peace to him, that legend. But the like I feel like he has a different interesting character of him being like a like the original founder of the main villains, but then he like of the Eclipse, but then he like went away because they were doing something else that he didn't really like. He felt ashamed. I think that's what it was. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. And the others are like I like fine. They do their job and they do it to really like set the world well. I feel like Avad is an interesting character having the Sundom and all that, and like Meridian and all that. I think that's very interesting. I tried looking up if Meridian was like based on anything. If it like was based on something, but I couldn't find anything. Some of the characters are interesting too. I just can't remember them at all. But yeah, I think it's all interesting with the characters. I just think that sometimes the writing can really get ahead of that, and I feel like Aloy is definitely one of the ones that suffers a bit because what Aloy does, like Aloy just kind of spouts what happened, like a summary of what happened, and it's kind of like, okay, yeah, we knew that. It, I don't know. I think that's a bunch of game. Like, this is kind of like game isms that happen, but I feel like Spider Man does it a bit better. Just kind of say like Spider Man is a bit better. Like they don't spout everything that just happened to you. It's like talking to themselves. If it can, so, I don't know. So like that part of it just kind of doesn't make sense. Like there's some writing stuff I don't really like here with the characters. Like that is like my biggest gripe about the game. The writing just kind of doesn't really do much for the actual game, and kind of works against the actual setting and how interesting the setting is. So yeah, the characters are kind of weak. Aloy's at least kind of interesting and Silences too, but aside from that, there's not much to talk about there. And then there's the story. So this game has an interesting setting, has like kind of weak characters, and the story just kind of falters. So this game, I think this game has an interesting world and how it's supposed to be interesting. The thing is that this story is so forgettable. I again, like other games like God of War. I played that game around the same time I did like a year or two after Forbidden West after Zero Dawn, and I remember that game to a T. And that was like a game I've kind of dropped a little, but I want to pick up back again. Is Hi-Fi Rush, and I also remember that storyline, like how much has happened. And I also other games that I played, I've played a lot of times. Like I've played earlier than Secret Dawn, like Pokemon Sword and Shield, which we will review soon. Yeah, games like Pokemon Sword and Shield. I remember that storyline. It's not the best storyline, but it's a storyline that I remember. So like Forbidden West, Hero Dawn having a very forgettable storyline is where the game falters. I think this game could have had a better storyline. It just had better gameplay, like a more actual a storyline I can remember, like a more memorable storyline, but it just kind of doesn't have that. It doesn't use the world and like it uses the world to its advantage. I feel it uses it, but like I don't think it has that big of a storyline. It didn't have that much of a big impact on me. It's just kind of like there to film in the world. It's just kind of no. I don't like the storyline for Zero Dawn all that much. It's just so forgettable. It's just not what the game needed, and like it does a disservice to the actual lore of the game. I feel it's just kind of there. I don't know. I don't. I think I should probably replay it, but I don't know. Like just the actual story elements of the game just aren't very well executed. I feel. And that's just kind of like, and that's kind of just a down and rough here. I feel like it's just it's like that. It's a stain on this game. It's like the only complaint I really have. It's a big complaint because the game is purely storyline based. But like it's not that bad. It's not a bad storyline. It's just kind of a forgettable one, and it's just something that you might just you play through because the gameplay is good, and you keep playing because of the gameplay, not because of the storyline. So yeah, it's a forgettable story, and it's not bad. I feel like I think it's good. I think it's a good storyline, but it's just kind of not memorable. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about the storyline. It doesn't hamper the gameplay at any point or anything what you do in the game, but it's just kind of there. So yeah, that's my I think my general consensus. The game is a fantastic game to play through. The storyline just kind of isn't there, and that kind of harms the replayability a little bit, or maybe it amplifies because you don't remember shit by the time you finish the actual storyline. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I really gotta say about Horizon Zero Dawn.
I give it an A tier. It is a great game. It's just the storyline falters and kind of it does it kind of takes away from the game a little. Anything aside from that, it's very very good. So yeah, what did you guys think about Horizon Zero Dawn? Leave in the comments below. All of our socials, all of our currently available socials on the description. And yeah, no, that's about it. See ya.